Welcome back, guys. This is Pastor's Coffee. Sorry we missed you last week, but this is episode 9. Steve, how's your week been? Well, your last 2 weeks?
Been great. Thanksgiving was good. Love eating food, obviously,
It's a great holiday,
Uh,
you're right. Yep.
Yeah. Football, of course, great
Yep.
on Thanksgiving. Got to play some board games and stuff. And yeah, it's been a pretty chill week at work. So it's been good. So,
Good.
how about you?
It was a great Thanksgiving. It was one of the busiest days of my life, but it was good. Kizzy and I, both of our grandparents are still around. They're super close. So we made every single one of our grandparents' houses, 4 different houses. And yeah, it was just a busy day. I mean, your driving time is longer than you're actually staying at each house, which is kind of frustrating. But it was good to see everybody, and that's just what we have to do right now. It's a good problem to have. But it was a busy day, but we got to eat. There was only one place where we didn't get to eat just because we were only there, I think, 20 minutes. So, but we ate 3 different places. So I was stuffed. But yeah, it was a good day. It was good to see everybody. There's a lot of family that I don't get to see regularly, even though they're still so close. Things just get busy. So it was good. It was an encouraging time. This was first one like this. So
Yeah.
hopefully there's an easier way next year that we figure out, but probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It was easier for me this year because we had Liam.
Yeah.
And everybody flocked to Liam, and I can just kind of be left alone.
That's how you do it, buddy. How you do it.
So you just hand them off, and then you're good. Especially like we had a big family reunion that Sunday after.
Yeah.
And here's Liam, and then I go watch football with my cousins and stuff.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, you have the topic for today.
Yes. So we've kind of mentioned this before, but we've never really talked about it. And I kind of wanted to talk about not only like church planning, and if you were to start a church today, what would you want? What would you look for? What would be some things that you'd involve? Maybe some people you'd involve it with, but also after that, just talking about people going into the ministry in general now. And I'll explain a little bit more as we get to that. But first, you're starting a church today, and if you want me to go first, I can. But you're starting a church today. What are some things that are must-haves? Maybe staffing wise, maybe building wise, maybe just practical things like music and other services wise. Do you have anything off the top of your head? If not, I'll go first.
Not maybe exactly, but I think if you're going to be starting a church, I think first of all you gotta have people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at least leadership wise, it would be good to have 2 couples probably. And I wouldn't say probably just 2 single guys because they can't really do much with the women of the church.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I think it would be good to have at least 2 couples. So you have 2 guys, 2 girls, not anything else, obviously. But and then you can add on from there. But I think at least having the separate rules and everything would help starting the church. And we talked about music last week, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's right off the top of my head. But you might have a better answer so far, and I can add one.
Well, that's really I didn't even think of that. That's really interesting. I know. I don't think it's a requirement to be married for ministry necessarily, but it's but obviously there, like as you're speaking, there are definite advantages for it, and obviously there's different circumstances for everybody, but for me, I mean, I can speak of, and I know you can too. I mean, Mackenzie has been such a huge help for me because there is conversations with when girls come up and want to speak about something, and I don't feel comfortable having those conversations. I can be in the room, but I can't be the only person in there. And it's never good to be one-on-one with anybody, let alone somebody of the opposite gender. You just put yourself in a rough spot. So having her, and obviously you can put girl leaders around, but starting a church, it's so important. Starting any type of ministry, to already have that person beside you that's willing to help is such a huge thing. As far as starting a church, for me, the things that I would make sure of, I don't think building is the end all be all. I mean, you think about the early church, and I mean, they're meeting in houses, and you don't even call them houses at that point. So it's so I don't think the building's as important at all. I think what's so important is to get everybody united on common goals. So when you're starting, and it's not about numbers, but when you're starting, it kind of needs to be. You're wanting to grow the church, you're wanting to grow financially, you're wanting to grow spiritually, obviously, is the main goal, to make disciples. But I think setting goals for your church, healthy goals. We want to gain this many new people by this date, and then it kind of unites the people around you to go out and share about your church, because you've got this common goal to reach. So I think having common goals, and not just numbers, but just you want to start a new service at this time, so you need X amount of people here. You want to start a praise band, or you want to start a choir, whichever way you want to take your music, and blend it together like we were kind of talking about. But I think you set obtainable goals right from the beginning, and not just jump into it like, okay, let's just do what we can. You've got to set certain goals that can be attained to where you're growing when you're very small. And you can touch on this again, but what I mainly want to talk about is the main reason I brought up is starting churches is just because there's so many churches out there, but we're going to churches with less need, and I say that by an eye test, because everywhere has needs, absolutely, but we go to comfortable places more than we go to uncomfortable places. So, and I see that with me, and I'm sure that you could probably say the same thing in your decision when you're looking at the church. Well, what's around it? How can we make a life here? All these different things other than just the ministry. And I did the same thing, and I'll probably be guilty of it the rest of my life. I mean, it's how we think. But I will say something that I am noticing, talking with other pastors and just seeing different churches and stuff like that, is the lack of people going into ministry. And even those who are called, who come to you, say that they're called, end up running from it. And I really do feel a burden for that, because the whole point of ministry, especially from the early churches, and I know we look at Matthew 28 and we see that go word, and we look at, well, it's as you're going. It's not necessarily that you have to leave, but still it does say go. It says to go. And I think we look at our churches, and we're supposed to be preparing them for ministry, to send them out, to make new churches like we're talking about, to join other churches that help needs. And you're just not seeing it. And what I will say, and this is kind of controversial, but I think the churches that are sending more pastors, missionaries, are churches that we wouldn't agree with doctrinally. So what I'll say about that is, what are we doing wrong? If we, and I feel a burden for that, because I think we get so comfortable. I mean, you look at these churches that are packing a house with thousands of people, and not to say that that's wrong. I'd love to be a part of a church like that. I think it'd be awesome. But is it really right if you're just opening your doors and just focusing on you right here? You're supposed to be making disciples everywhere around you, and that doesn't mean you have to travel, but that means to be around your community. And if all you're focused on is in the building, right here, right now, just edification, which is so important, we're supposed to be doing that, and that's the whole part of our job. A lot of it is to edify the people in your church. We aren't looking outside enough, and that does worry me. It's I think there are more people that have not answered the call than people who have. I think there's a lot of Christians out there in our pews that have been called to ministry, that have been prepped to go and haven't answered or not. So anything you can say about just where ministry is in general, starting churches, any other, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think maybe the reason why, and this is, you know, just about us, but like, I think especially the churches we are in, I think the reason that we don't send as many people is maybe not necessarily that we're doing a bad job, but we can always improve, of course. But I think especially when you get to bigger churches, and not all big churches are bad, of course, but they do get a bad rep because of one thing, and that they're not teaching the Bible the way it should be. I mean, we send videos to each other all the time of people saying the wrong thing. But
I really wanted to say the one that we sent last time, but we can't.
But I mean, that's a prime example. I mean, if all ministry is you getting up and rambling about what's going on in the world, and not really focusing on what the Bible actually says, then I would like to be that type of minister too. I mean, it's a lot easier than what we do now.
How much money they get paid?
And I mean, yeah, 6 figures at least. So, but when we are encouraging ministry, it's actually hard. It's not just I show up to the office, you know, I write a few things on the computer and then I go home, maybe talk to a couple of people. And, you know, ministry isn't just that. It actually knowing the word, actually what it has to say. And I think a lot of bigger churches out there that sending all these people are doing wrong, that they're not giving them actually, this is what ministry is actually like. And then when they get to it, they're like, well, this is not for me because, and I know with myself, it was a challenge at first, you know, just senior year of high school was when I was called. And, you know, not something I necessarily wanted to do, but that's what God wanted me to do. And I had people around me telling me, this is what God wants you to do. It may not be enjoyable at first. You may not like Bible college for the first couple of years. And maybe we didn't. But but it works out in the end. God, we can persevere through it all. But back to, that was a little rabbit trail. But
that was real good.
Back to what we were talking about and starting a church. I think what you were saying about common goal, and I think ultimately the first common goal will be obviously sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ through whatever you do, even if it's just a couple people. You know, sharing the gospel and getting a body of believers around you, which is the church, not the building that we are in, or just because we have lights somewhere and you know, playing music somewhere. That's not necessarily the church, the body of believers around you. And so simply sharing that around and getting people to then now form the church as a body of believers, I think it's our first good goal for the church. So that's what I have to say about it. There's a lot more that goes into it, obviously, but I think you hit it pretty well.
I want to share this last story before we move on. Because I think it fits. The senior pastor I'm working with now, he shared with me a time where he was church planting, just started a brand new church, and they were small in numbers, and he was trying to start different ministries in his church, but didn't have the people yet. So he goes and he starts asking different churches in the area if they would be willing, and obviously like-minded churches, but if they would be willing to offer maybe a guitar player, maybe a small group leader, someone that has been doing these things. I can't remember the number, but he said, you know, something crazy like 30 churches. And just if they would give a person or two that would help out just for a couple of months where he gets stuff started. They train somebody else in the church, and then they get sent back. And not a single one of them gave a single person. And that's why, I mean, you see these churches. I think it's I can't remember the name of it, but we have a lot of ABC people at it, and it's actually a church plant. And what they do is they build these different campuses up, and then they send a pastor, and they take a chunk of their people and start a new church. And I think it's a great model. Now, not everybody can do it. It takes a lot financially. I understand that, but it's a great model. But what's so interesting is this church right now. It just seems like, how many people can we get in the door? How many connections can we get with our church? We're not worried about anybody else. When you see a church that's in a place that has a need, that's trying to reach a certain group of people, and you're not willing to send them for help in ministry, what are we doing? Yeah. And it's sad, it's we're not helping each other like we said we're supposed to. So,
and I think something else with that is with ministry, and people get a bad rap for what ministry is. Ministry isn't just pastor or a secretary at the church. Simply, ministry is you getting up and playing guitar for 4 songs and getting back down and listening to the service.
Absolutely.
You're doing the same ministry as I mean, we're all involved in the same ministry of the church. Yep. Through different ways, and I think, especially at my church, they do it really well, where they have other people doing stuff. It's not just the pastor doing everything or the deacons and their wives. It's the church is along with the ministry. It isn't just the leadership of the church.
Like that. Yep.
And I mean, there needs to be leadership, of course, but and I think that's something, especially you get to teenagers, is that you don't need to go into full-time ministry. It's not for everybody. God called specific people for that. Right. You in ministry is simply you coming here to church, helping out with a couple things, maybe serving one another, and going home, and that's ministry. And so we could go on forever with that, but but if you guys could send us comments of what you would like us to talk about, that'd be great.
Please, guys, please.
Even specific or broad topics would be great, because we only have so big a mind to know what we're talking about until we get into theology and really tear y'all up. But anyway, is that everything you wanted to say with that?
Yeah. We can do.
Okay. We'll keep it a little shorter. Well, we say that every time. But, football, we've been out of it for 2 weeks. We picked last week. Well, week 11, and then we picked last week. He just sent me his picks, and I picked them out before the game. And it got interesting. It got real interesting. Okay. Week 11, you went. The week before that, I went 12-2. Just to remind you. Week 11, you went 11-13. 11-3. My bad. 11-3.
Like, does that make games?
Yeah, and I went 7-7.
Oh man, 11-3. I almost caught you.
Yeah, and so the records were at that point 94. You had 94-72, and I had 98-68. Okay. Close. Week 12. Thanksgiving week, okay? That's where it got real interesting.
Uh-oh.
You went 11-5 that week. Okay. So you've been killing it the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
I have not. I went 7-9.
Wait, that's tied. We're tied.
And we are tied at a 105-77. So on to this week where I can't mess up now. I can't make more. I can't make as many bold predictions. So we are recording on a Friday.
Yes.
And we did send in our picks yesterday, and we both picked the Cowboys because we were smart. Yeah. So that's already a dub. We're still tied. So
if Kenny Meese is watching this, he owes me an apology because he's been getting on me about my picks, and now we're tied. So
that's right. He better be watching this because it's the only time you're going to be back up here. But anyway, you have anything to say about football? It's been 2 weeks.
I just have some stuff to say about fantasy. I'm just thankful that I only have to go one more week without Justin Jefferson. He's back next week. Hopefully, that's what all the reports are saying. So I do have CD Lamb on my fantasy team. So that was nice yesterday. But then the Cowboys defense has kind of been carrying me through everything, and they got killed yesterday. So that's kind of all I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, Rodgers is coming back. Aaron Rodgers. How in the world? I don't know.
I need whatever he has.
There's no way. There's no way it was a full Achilles tear. I just don't believe it. We haven't seen the report. If there is, there's some kind of medicine or some sort of procedure that we've never heard of or seen before. I had a partial tear. I didn't even have a full tear. I had a split in the Achilles. It was an 8-month recovery. It was really longer than that. It was an 8-month non-weight bearing. I couldn't even put any weight on it, not in a boot, nothing.
And he was walking around week 4.
He was walking around in 4 weeks. I mean, that's crazy. It is crazy. It's amazing. I don't even want to know what all happened.
Who knows?
But he's back, so it's crazy.
Back. So. He's not back this week. He's in.
I think one more. I think they're going to try him the next week though.
Wow.
Which is crazy because they've got a chance. They've got a chance to get in.
And they really need him.
Yeah, they do.
So,
like a comic book, man. I mean, this is crazy. It's like superhero coming back. Crazy.
The Steelers fired Matt Canada.
Yeah, it was big.
It was a great morning. I woke up.
It had to happen.
It did. I feel bad for the man, like as a person, because I know that has to stink.
Being in that state, hearing what people were saying, I mean, it was really bad.
It might be a relief for him too. I don't know.
I think he was really feeling pressure.
So, but our offense finally scored 400 yards, and that was the first time in 58 games. So
that's pretty well. Yeah.
It was week 9 of 2019 was the last time we had 400 yards.
Wow.
2019, we were freshmen in college.
Yeah.
That's how long it's been since we've had 400 yards.
That's wild.
Anyway, let's get into it. We already had Thursday night. Colts at Titans, 1 p.m. Sunday.
I'm gonna take the Titans. No Jonathan Taylor. I think Moss will still be good, but I'm gonna take the Titans.
I'm gonna take the Colts. So our record's already gone there. It's not tied anywhere there. But I think the Colts will do well. They've been kind of picking it up a little bit already.
Yeah.
So, that's probably not going to be a good matchup. So no one's going to be watching that game. But Falcons at Jets, possibly the last week without Rodgers.
I'm going to take the Jets. I think they have to win. I think they they will. That defense will carry them. I mean, they have no offense without Rodgers.
Yes, they do not. I'm going to agree with you there. I think the Jets will get it, and they're at home.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good game.
And the Rodgers news, I think they're all kind of getting hyped up again. So.
Yeah. Lions at Saints.
I take the Lions.
Yeah, Lions are looking good, man.
They are, man.
So can't really bet against them right now.
No.
This one's a big matchup. Broncos at Texans. Which who would have thought at the beginning of the year?
They've both been killing it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I keep going back and forth, and I'll probably change it tomorrow. But for our picks, I'm just going to take the home team Texans. I think it's just too close. I want to go Broncos. But Stroud is on fire right now. His receivers are clicking. They've actually got a good running game. Singletary's been great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Texans.
Russell Wilson, man.
You're going to take the Broncos?
I think the Broncos.
I want to, but I can't.
They're on a 5-game win streak, man.
That's why it scares me. I think it has to happen. I don't know, but it'd be cool. I hated all the narrative around Wilson because I think he's a solid guy.
Yes.
And man, he just didn't have a whole lot of weapons. He's finally got a coach with a system around him. Peyton's a great coach, we know. Yeah, I think I'd like to see him keep going, but I like Stroud too. It's a cool matchup.
Yeah, it's a cool matchup. Chargers to Patriots.
Chargers. I just don't. The Patriots just don't have nothing going on. I mean, just
They
nothing.
don't.
And it's sad. It really is.
It really is. Do you think Belichick will be there at the end of the season, or start of next season?
Well, I think he for sure finishes this. It's hard for me to see him leaving like this, but I don't think he's really going to have a choice.
Yeah.
But I don't think he retires. I don't think he's going out like this.
Somebody will pick him up.
I think he'll be on another team next year.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick on a different team.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't see it, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Cardinals at Steelers. You already know my pick.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers. I think it'll be a close one though.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think we're gonna not a blowout or anything, but I think we'll have a good game, hopefully, again. And we're at home, so we always play better at home.
That defense is top 3 in the league.
It is. Listen, a lot of people haven't been saying it, but this defense has held this team to 7-4. Right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the offense at all.
Because there hadn't been an offense until last game.
Yeah, and we still only scored 16 points. So, I mean, that's, yeah. Dolphins at Commanders.
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Yeah. Not really a question there.
No.
Dolphins they're playing a losing team.
Yeah.
They're going to win. We'll see about the winning team. But
I think next year the Commanders could be great.
They could be. Sam Howell has not had a bad year at all.
No, I think they found their guy for now.
Yeah. They need to put some weapons around them. And, yeah. Panthers at Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah, Panthers.
They're a dumpster.
I think I could start for the Panthers at this point.
Yeah.
Put me in at right guard. Panthers.
Oh, my goodness. It's bad, dude. It's bad.
And I'm the same height as Bryce Young at this point, so I actually don't know how tall he is, but we could see eye to eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this is going to be a matchup similar to the Bills at Eagles last week, 49ers at Eagles this week.
Yeah, I like this one. I think the Eagles have gotten so lucky lately, and they're still my pick to go to the Super Bowl, but I'm going to take the 49ers this week.
You're going to take the 49ers away?
I am.
Wow. I am. Liam's telling me what to do.
Yeah, what's Liam saying?
Liam, what do you think? This is your opportunity to speak.
Oh, he got stage fright.
You do. Seagull Nation is what I gotta say to that. Eagles, 11-1.
You're probably right. It's so hard to bet against the Eagles, but I'm trying to be too smart here. And
if they were at the 49ers, I think it might be a different.
Still, it's such a tough place to play. You're right.
It is, but the Bills did it, and that dude, I just love a good raining game because it just
the mood's awesome. Yeah,
it is. I would have loved to be there.
Yeah,
but not that rich. So, Browns at Rams. Oh, no.
I gotta rock with my team, even though I don't feel very confident about it, especially with our QB situation. But I'm banking on our defense. I'm gonna go Browns.
You could be starting a Super Bowl MVP this week, Joe Flacco.
I don't think he'll start this week. I think he should. I think he's the most proven, even though he's been. He doesn't like Flacco.
He's not like Flacco. Oh, let me just get him. Okay, bud. I know. Okay, bud.
Hey, bud.
Oh,
Almost
yeah.
done, man. We're almost done.
There we go. Browns or Rams?
Give me Browns.
He's picking the Rams. Good. Listen, bud. You can't cry on television here. But we're that
Why
famous.
not, man?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
He's the best.
I know. Chiefs or Packers?
Go Chiefs.
Chiefs?
Yep.
Not much of a difference there. Big game here. Bengals or Jags?
Go. Oh man, I'm gonna go Jags. Just without Burrow.
Jags?
Yeah.
Goodness, bud. He said Jags as well.
He's saying he wants his mom.
That's what he needs. You know, I'm pretty much useless. But well, that's it. Hopefully, I pull away here with the record, and
I'm hoping you don't, but we'll see.
we'll see. But Liam, you got anything to say about that?
Can he close us out?
You gotta close us out, bud.
He wants us to wrap this up, though. Yeah, it's a good week. Good week.
But okay. Well, we'll see you guys later. See you later.